Oh, so close, so close. Oh, there we go.
Bro, come on now.
Oh, did we beat Sewong?
No.
Damn it.
No, we did not.
That was my only goal in life, was to beat Sewong. Someday I will get you.
He was ready at 7:59.
How's everybody doing tonight? I'm excited for my buddy Anthony. Woo!
Woo!
Anthony's got the exciting news for the week.
Yes, I got cast in the show Rent in Stockton Civic Theater.
Woo-hoo!
And Roger. Again, this is a show that I fell in love with 20 years ago when the movie came out. And ever since, it's just kind of been that would be such a fun show to do. And it just never came around before. So the fact that it came around now, I was like, I'm not going to have another chance. Let's go for it. So I did it, and I got it. And then I'm excited. We start rehearsing April 10th.
Yes.
Woo! Is this one you've done before? This is your first time?
No, if anything, this have been one of those shows that's on my checklist of ones I'd like to be in. So the fact that it's also the character that I wanted to play is super awesome. Because normally it's same for Les Mis. Back when we did the high school edition, I really wanted to play Marius, but I got cast as Javert. And Javert's an awesome freaking role. But if that show were to come around again today, I'd probably get cast as Javert again because I'm not young enough for Marius. So I have the benefit that the movie used all the original cast who were in their late mid-30s. So I kind of fit that motif.
Right. At any rate, this is probably going to be one of your last shots at that role, I guess.
Yes, it is. It is. So that's the fun part. I'm in that weird, awkward phase as a theater kid of you're no longer the young ingenue. You're going to start being the dads and the uncles.
Well, at least you got it. I'm excited for you, buddy. We are excited to come out and see that.
I'm excited too.
That is going to be fantastic. Mr. Fours, welcome back to the show, sir.
As you can see where I was.
Yeah.
This is a very, very special place where I stood. If you're looking out, that is the spot where Sylvester Stallone stood at the end of the montage and raised his hand in victory at the end of his training, which is exactly what I did. I got a pic of it.
You're such a nerd. I love it.
Oh my God. I ran up those damn steps 4 times. And my daughter ran up.
Did you play the entire song too for it?
So here's the fun thing. Before I get there, I still have some more filming to do, of some more training, but I'm going to have a whole thing done to the song. And at the end, it'll be me running up the very stairs and doing the whole thing at the end. And da-da-da.
Perfect.
And then there's going to be a blooper at the end. It'll be my daughter running up the stairs, and then she collapses. And then while she's laying down, she goes. But yeah, it was a fun trip to Philly. It was damn cold. 40 degrees in Philly is 12 in Florida. No doubt. That cold cuts differently. But it was fantastic. The view was beautiful. The city was everything I expected it to be. You guys already saw the video of Arlington, Virginia, as I was walking through there. There was no parking. It was all walking. Absolutely phenomenal. If you guys remember the Cosby Show, that zoom in on where they live, I walked down that street in Virginia, which was insane.
Wow.
So, but yeah, we were at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We went and saw all of the monuments in Washington, and then we went to Philadelphia. I saw where I was born. I was taken to the house where I spent my first nights, and my dad plays in an Irish band. We went to see him play on St. Patrick's Day. We did the Rocky Run. We had Pat's and Gino's famous steaks. And then we came home, and it's not a place where my wife wants to live. She didn't like a lot of it. I loved it, but after being there for a week, I pretty much figured, nobody's going to be happy there.
Was it something like you were like considering moving the family over there or something?
Yeah. I mean, it's home. It's home to me. It's where I was born. It felt like home. It felt comfortable. I didn't feel in danger walking in the street around people like it is here in Orlando. I don't even feel safe driving in Orlando at 2:00 in the afternoon. I was walking in the dark of the morning, and just people just passing you by, minding their own. It's freaking freezing outside, and everybody was just kind of doing their own thing. But my God, man, it was beautiful. You can't deny the view. It's a city that definitely calls to me. And I'm super, super happy I was able to quote unquote go home.
Wow.
If you guys will excuse me for just a moment, I need to pull daughter's brownies out of the oven, and I'll be right back.
Alrighty. Graveyard. What is going on? How's your week been, bro?
Busy. Did some training with Mezzo for the slides and the overlays for the Nerd Out show for tomorrow, getting that set up. Next week is going to be, I'm in class for training, so that's going to be stupid hard.
So next Saturday, you're saying, or?
No, I have everything's prepared for tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to start taking over all that editing and the overlays and the slideshow and stuff like that for the next week's. So.
Oh wow! So after having made it through your first one successfully, now how did it feel coming into the second show and getting prepared for that? Were you like, were you just like on rhythm, or did it feel like starting over again, or?
I mean, it's well, because we didn't get to every topic last week, so we
we never made it to the Oscars.
No, that topic's gone. We're moving past the Oscars.
No one got slapped this year. No one cares.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm still gonna say I'm in class next week till like 6:00 my time at night. So that kind of sucks, but especially the kids are on spring break.
Yeah.
But in the forced comment, 40 degrees is warm up here, sir. It is sleeting right now where I'm at, so it's gonna snow.
Oh wow. Well, I'm excited. I wish I'm going to be able to I don't know what I'll be. Hopefully I'll get a chance to watch out the Nerd Out as it's happening tomorrow morning. I am going to be at his dispensary here in town called The Bright Spot from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. Pushing glow sticks. So if I don't get a chance to jump in while it's live, I'll check that out later.
I mean, you're at a dispensary. We have bright, shiny things and colors that you can put up on a monitor or something.
Yeah, I know. In fact, I'm thinking I should bring the laptop and show the show while they're there at the dispensary. I might get a little crowd gather around.
I think so. That'd be. I mean, that's a good way to promote and get more views too. Honestly.
Right. Yeah. Well, I should see if they have a internet connection there. Yeah, not a bad idea. All right. Let's see what our topics are for tonight.
This is Flash. That's it. So there it is.
There it is. Oh, whoa. High fees and sub formats. High fees. What is the sub format part?
Subscriptions.
Oh
boy, is Four's going to talk tonight about that shit.
Yeah, we were talking about how back in the day when people still had cable TV, that was supposed to be the answer to everything, right? Like, I know when my mom was still alive, she had cable at all times, and I want to say she, with internet and everything, I think it was coming up to like $160, $170 a month that she was spending for to get, and we didn't even have like all the premium channels. That was just for like.
Basic
and the
cable.
package that includes your favorite 5.
Right, not the basic one, but just barely
like the 50 plus channel.
Right. So streaming was supposed to be the way to go, right? Like just pay $7 or $8 for a service, but now you got to have like 5 or 6 different streaming services.
Oh, more than that.
Yeah, I don't even know how many of them are
$180 now.
How many different services are there?
Every station has their own streaming service. every single one.
Let me put it to you this way. This is what I pay for in my home. Xbox Live for me, the boy, the wife. Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Funimation, just about to be Paramount Plus, and then if we want to rent I'm sorry, Amazon Prime, and if we want to rent a movie we can't even get anywhere, Vudu. So that's 10.
Wow. And what do you think you pay for each roughly? $10 each, $7 each.
Let's see, 15, 15, 15, 7, 16, 9, and I think it's like an average of 12 for the rest. But
wow,
it's Sewong Funimation.
$60.
Sewong Funimation actually combined with Crunchyroll, so it's a subscription worth having.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm sure. I'm surprised. Sewong didn't know about that one. Man, that is crazy.
So
And
yet you still don't get everything.
you still don't get everything,
right?
Yeah. So
go ahead.
To branch out on this a little bit, subscriptions can be looked at one of two ways. If you're a person without many needs or without even many desires, subscription formats can be a fantastic thing. Let's say you're not a big TV watcher, but the majority of things you do watch are on Netflix. You're subbing to one thing. That's okay. That's fine.
Right.
You don't want to have to pay $24 per Blu-ray or $29 per 4K disc. You have to. I got to apologize. I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at my screen over here. So that's okay. You're not paying like $30, $60, $90 a month to buy 3 discs for something that you have to have. You're also not paying, to Graveyard and Anthony's point, you're not paying $180 a month for your cable or Dish Network or Xfinity or whatever the freak it is. But this is kind of the thing lately that is more or less got me bugged. Are any of you guys familiar with Easy Pass or Sun Pass? Do you guys have
Easy Pass and iPass?
Okay, you have Easy Pass and iPass. Van, in California, what do you guys use for toll roads?
Toll bridges. I mean,
there's like a fast pass
that
you can do that's like part of your car.
Yeah, It's like a little thing that it's like a little chip you put in your car and then you pay towards it. And I've got $50, and then when I drive across
COVID and even a little after, though, I noticed that they just had unmanned booths and they would just have you drive through, take the picture, and then send you the bill later.
Okay. So that's called toll by plate. So what they've done now is they've set it up to where it is a subscription service. So you put $20 on it, and then you do your driving, and then when it gets down to the $7, $6, or $5 mark, it deducts money from your account, like a subscription, and it it reboots your thing so that you could continue paying tolls. On top of that, there are certain express ways that bill you extra by plate, even though you've got Sun Pass, Easy Pass, or Fast Pass. So that's a subscription. Like, it seems to me everything is becoming a subscription. For example, Mezzo, Graveyard, myself. One of the ways, the primary way we edit for Kyber Cave is we use Adobe Premiere. You can't buy a license for Premiere anymore. You have to, what's our magic word? Subscribe to it per month. StreamYard, you can't just buy a license to use StreamYard. You have to pay for it. It's not even yours. You have to pay for it monthly to use. Everything. It's like we're losing ownership. We are considerably losing
you know what
the
this
concept.
reminds me of?
We're losing. My apologies. Let me finish real quick. We are considerably losing out on the concept of ownership in this country. Like it was
that's actually done on purpose,
because you can't just have something. No, you have to pay continually for it. I'm fine with the movies. I'm fine with paying $7.99 a month to watch my favorite anime over and over and over again, as opposed to paying $68 to have every season on one disc. But over time, that adds up. everything that we know, everything that we've come to love is now contingent upon a payment plan that never really seems to end. And that to me is, well, bullshit. It's not right. It's criminal. Anthony, your point.
I was gonna say, I'm in this show where they literally have a whole song where they go, rent, 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 rent. We're not gonna pay rent because everything is rent.
Yes.
Everything's rent now. You can't own
Everything.
anything.
All of it. All of it.
It's
I've
like,
actually-
like you should get a car on lease, and it's like, why would I want to do that? Or the, you know what I'm talking about, where it's like you constantly change them out for a different car. I've
Right.
never understood that whole thing. I was like, no, I want to stop paying for a fucking car at some point.
Correct.
Just own my car,
Mhm.
and then hopefully keep it together long enough that I don't lose out my ass on the money I spent on it.
Well, you know, I remember recently reading an article, and I really wish I knew who was talking about it, but he was saying that is the direction of America. All the banks, all the car companies, anything that we consider things that we own nowadays are trying to convert people to where they own literally nothing.
Nothing.
Even the car companies are trying to get it in where you're paying monthly payments, and if you don't and it's for stupid crazy like I almost feel like they're testing shit out just to see how dumb we are. You know what I mean? Like I remember on one, I don't remember what car company it was, but you had to pay a monthly subscription fee for the heated seats.
Yes.
So
Tesla.
the heated seats came in the car, but if you wanted to use them, you had to pay like $5 a month or some shit like that.
Tesla just introduced, it's not introduced, I'm sorry, wrong vocabulary. Tesla has in play the auto drive feature, but you must pay the subscription fee for it and the activation fee for it. Insane. Like,
Yeah, what's the point of buying that fucking car then?
nothing. There is no point to buying it. That's why I don't own one. That, and I really like Toyota.
Hey, I'm really happy with my Chrysler 300. Okay, that was a good find.
That's a good car.
But I feel like this is very similar to what we were talking about a little while ago with video games. You know,
Yeah,
like,
that
back
was
when
last
I was
week.
a kid,
Yeah.
you'd buy a game and you bring it
just
home,
play
and the whole
whatever you
game was
wanted.
right there. You got the beginning and the end of the game all in one package.
Correct.
Nowadays, you got to buy the extra content. You got to buy the season pass just so I can get online to play with my buddy.
And if you're not subscribing to that console's service, you're not playing online with a buddy. And they have to own the game and be paying for it too. Graveyard, you were going to say something.
I said this last week, and I'll say this again. What's Madden 92, Madden 93, Madden 94? It's the same game, same system. We have 10 of them come out for the same system. All they're doing is change the roster, and you're paying full price for that game. They've been doing it for 30 years. And you didn't complain about it then.
Oh, but the graphics are slightly better.
Not when you have 10 of them on the
have some banter that you might find funny.
Well, 10 of them on Sega Genesis came out. All right, there's no reason for 10 of them. You can change the rosters yourself. When the teams change, you're able to change rosters. That's all they do. That's the only difference when it's on the same system.
I honestly don't see that much different than these people. And you know, if anybody here on this platform is one of those people, all apologies. But these people that are like, oh, dude, my phone, the new iPhone is out. I have to get the new upgrade. It's got a slightly better camera or a slightly bigger screen. And in fact, I almost feel like these companies are like, I could give you a bigger screen and better camera and all these things now, but I'm just going to give you one this year and then one next year, and then just planning out things year by year just so you come back for the newest camera. But like
thousands of dollars, of course.
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Why do you have new lightsabers?
It's not new sabers, it's new board.
You shut the hell up!
You shut your whore mouth.
But it's not like we're coming out with brand new technology for each model, right? So
Not
you
for
pay
each model,
like
no, but every few
There's
years
not,
there
there's
is
not
new
a
tech.
Profi 2.1 card. There's not a Profi 2.0 card. There's not a Gold Harvest version cards.
We don't speak of Profi in my presence, sir. Don't talk about shitboard to me.
But we've been doing it forever. Subscriptions have always been the thing. You want to get the news, you get to pay for the newspaper. You want a Chicago Tribune, that's one subscription. You want the New York Times, that's another. You want the Post, that's another. We've always done this since there's been a readily daily thing. You want a subscription to your milk? Milkman was a service that you paid for. Swan Man was a service. It's always been there in our entire lifetime.
You're right. You're right. But you know what's funny, to that respect? There are times and places for certain subscriptions. There was a time where the milkman was necessary. There were weather conditions. There were living conditions where people had to have that service. The newspaper, understandable. These people go out, they deliver the paper boy, the paper guy in the car.
Access to information.
Yes, access to information. However, they have taken the opportunity to own media that is said and done. There's a huge difference between current events and a movie, and paying monthly to have access to a movie as opposed to just owning it. Huge difference. Difference. Which goes to and with the amount of crap that we have now, there's no way we're going to be able to watch everything ever made in a lifetime. I mean, there's just so much media now.
Well, and most of us just watch the same 18 movies over and over and over again because we're weird like that.
Hey, I can't even tell you how many times I've gone through Chobits and Dragon Ball Super at this point. I love Chobits. But I mean, I personally still collect my comics in trade paperback because I'm that nutty guy who thinks, hey, what happens if the power goes out, my internet goes out, or the city goes without for whatever reason. We have a hurricane come through, hashtag Florida. I need stuff to do, and that's my thing to do. What's the point of putting it on a tablet that's going to require both power and internet and subscription for me to access entertainment when I can have my entertainment right here to just flip open in a few pages? I mean, I'm actually happy for that ownership. But to Graveyard's point, yes, it has been around a long time, but those were for services that needed consistency, that were considered current events. You needed fresh milk, you needed news daily, to know what the heck was going on in the world. And it was nowhere near as expensive as what we pay for things right now. I mean, I remember my dad paying $6 a month for the not the Orlando Sentinel. It was the daily commercial. It was more local newspaper, and yeah, $6 a month. And he had the paper every single day, plus coupons on Sunday.
What do you consider then? 1992, Disney went off of the basic cable and became a subscription fee in 1992.
92? Was that
92?
Was that
Well, that certainly wasn't Disney Plus. I mean,
Disney Channel.
But it's Disney.
You mean
Channel.
Disney Channel, right?
Yeah.
That was considered a premium service, as was HBO, Cinemax, Showtime. God bless Red Shoe Diaries.
But how are those premium channels? They're not any different than what we're doing now. You're still saying entertainment.
Okay, so here's my big gripe with cable as an example of one of the subscriptions we paid for. I always hated that I had to buy the bundle that included the 4 channels that I would watch on a regular basis that came with like 95 I'm never going to watch. And that I feel like that's where they kind of screw you. Like, oh, do you want to watch like Comedy Central and Cartoon Network? Well, you need this extra bundle package, even though it's going to come with 55,000 sports channels. And that's like
Sabotage Gigante.
Well, and so it's one of those things that it would be nice if if these companies would cater to this is the subscription you're paying for that's cheaper based to what your preferences are. But instead, they kind of screw you in the, oh, well, do you want access to that one thing you really want? Well, we have it in a separate bundle that you're going to have to pay extra for just because we can.
If they didn't do that, though, you wouldn't have Ancient Aliens.
I don't know nothing about Ancient Aliens. It's not that fascinating. It's like adventure bullshit for me.
I know a lot of
YouTube
times
for
some of these bigger channels help, by, it's almost like having an anchor store at the mall, right? By having a JC Penney's there, it brings small traffic to the smaller businesses that may not have ever had, somebody walk in if a bigger store wasn't there attached to it. I think that's kind of how the HBOs and the Disneys paid for the golf channels and the HGTV and all the other crappy channels we don't watch.
Hey, I'm still really confused how it is that oh god, what is it? It's the true crime channel. IDTV. If you've ever watched IDTV as a channel, most of the commercials on it are for IDTV properties. I have absolutely no idea how they make their fucking money. They have like 2 advertisements for like a Bed Bath and Beyond and like maybe a Wendy's, and then the rest of it is literally like just stuff for their shows.
Right.
So
But the television channels aren't much different than, say, the clothing stores at the mall. A lot of those clothing stores are actually owned by like one company that'll own Wet Seal and will own, 3 or 4 different clothing companies. It's just that they have an umbrella corporation name that owns all these. It's the same with the cable channels. A lot of times one company will own, 20 different shows, and to make sure that these shows, because they don't care where they get their money, they're going to, they'll place bets everywhere. And then, somebody will bring the money in. What's up, Aubrey?
What's up? Hi.
We are talking about high fees and subscription rates.
Oh, gosh.
When we get back to it, let's hear. I'm hearing also Van knows that my idea of the high fees was ticket prices, Ticketmaster, and the devil that it is.
Exactly.
I mean,
we'll get to that later.
Plus, just raising all the prices on stuff, even though it's completely unnecessary. Because you have how much in profit sales we've gotten?
Price we have to.
Yeah.
We need to beat last year's quota because it was so good.
Exactly. That's literally what it is.
Well, and that's part of
the picture of my cat. I'm sorry, I have to say because we're cats.
You did see the picture of your cat. Our cats look so much alike. It's kind of crazy. This is Morgan. He's got his own Instagram page now.
I tried that when he was a kitten. It didn't work very well. Not consistent enough. I don't know the algorithm. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah. Patrick makes a good point here, and actually, Pearl Jam, and was it Metallica?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I believe. I believe Metallica actually went after what's that? Metallica went after Napster.
That's right.
But it was Taylor Swift, I believe, who went after Ticketmaster as well, because they were scalping all the prices up. Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, Ticketmaster owns a complete monopoly on. I mean, we're talking about sports venues, a lot of the big, sports shows that you want to see, music concerts that you want to see. And that's the big complaint is I don't have an alternative. I only have Ticketmaster. And then they want to charge. There's always an extra fee, right? Like a convenience fee or something like that. That's like
convenience.
Right. What does that mean exactly? Because I used the telephone and didn't walk down to your building?
The convenience fee when it started out was when you're able to print it yourself. So when you paid for your own paper, your own printer, your own ink, you had to pay them a convenience fee. Now the convenience fee goes to your phone.
Yeah.
It costs them no extra money. You're not paying for anything more, but they are almost doubling the price of tickets now, and their fees are literally more. And like, the Depeche Mode fiasco and the Cure this past week, they're trying to, I see a lot of punk bands. They're really cheap shows for the most part, like $20-$30 for a ticket, but the convenience fee makes it $70 a ticket.
Right.
Stupid.
Right. I mean, I think it, and there's certain things like that, like, it may not seem like a big deal from the outside, right, as we're sitting here as grown adults, but I think back to when I was, 18 and wanting to go see my favorite band in concert, you know what I mean? And I didn't have a lot of money, but shoot, I went and saw I saw Public Enemy, Primus, Young Black Teenagers, and Anthrax. And I want to say that ticket was like $25 back in the 90s. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Now,
artists, honestly, if you're an artist and you're in it for the music, like really you don't care about the money. That's not what's important.
well, and they're not
They
even
want to
making that
live.
money
I mean,
anyway.
they want to, I mean, artists want to live. I mean, you know, we all know as artists, like, of
Right.
course, you know, like as a musician, of course, I want to make some money off of my music just because I want to be able to live comfortably and put food on my table and pay my bills just like everyone else. But that's not who's getting the money. That's not why the prices have
Right.
skyrocketed as they
Well,
have. It's Ticketmaster.
the majority of artists artists make a majority of their money on like the t-shirt sales and all the swag. That's why you spend $40 for a concert t-shirt that would
that's
cost
how
you
movie theaters
$20.
are with their concession stands. Come on now.
Right. Well, to me, I don't mind as much because I realize that is where the band is making their money, right? I feel better about spending $40 on that t-shirt than I do about spending $70 on the ticket to get in there because the band doesn't see any of that money.
I mean, I think they get like 10% or something of it, but really that's so small. Like
Well,
they get
you're
screwed
able to
on
get
this.
tickets for shows you want to see because that's never happened for me. It's always sold out within the first 15 minutes. Oh, you weren't here waiting for the oh, well, I guess it's sold out now. Sorry.
Well, I mean, for me, it's always been up. The prices are like $1,000 for a ticket. So too bad.
Right, and that's what it is. It's those people that have access to that kind of money that are camping out on the lines. I mean, if there are people that are going to pay it, somebody will sell it to you. You know what I mean? So, you know, those people are camping out online. They're waiting for the first 5 minutes. They don't give a fuck what the ticket prices are. They know they got
the bots they generate.
The bots, right? And then the scalpers will sell those off too.
I think the last concert I was able to go to
was that they auto buy a bunch of it, so it's like you have to get it from the scalper prices.
Yep.
I think the last real concert I went to was like in 2004 or 2005. No, that's not true. That's not true. I think
Are you kidding me?
I think it was 2010, 2011. It's been a long time though. The last concert I think I went to, legitimate concert I went to, was ICP.
Wow.
Mine was Jethro Tull and the Allman Brothers.
Oh, I wish I'd gone to that one. That sounds like fun. I did get to see the Goo Goo Dolls in concert, though. That was pretty fantastic.
We'll have to go around and find out what everybody's first concert was.
Palmer with Jethro Tull. Never mind.
We'll have to go around and see what everybody's first concert was. But yeah, no, I just think back to me, like I feel like kids nowadays aren't going to have that same experience, and then it becomes elitist too, right? I mean, you know, it used to be that you'd have a mix of kids. You'd have, you know, the rich kids, the poor kids. Everybody could go afford to see a show for, you know, under $50 for a ticket or whatever. And now, you know, tickets are $200-$300. I went.
Regular
the last concert I went to was for my birthday. It was a birthday gift. I want to say 3-4 years ago. I got tickets for Depeche Mode, but we had like nosebleed seats, and even those seats were, you know, they weren't cheap, let's say that. And you know, like I like I said, I can vividly remember back to my childhood and seeing some of the greatest concerts. I remember going to my college when I was at University of Oregon, and like, you know, being 5 feet away from, you know, Chuck D and Flavor Flav, and meeting this brand new band nobody had ever heard of, was just walking around giving away free posters. It was some little band called Rage Against the Machine. Nobody knew who they were. So they were just going around and hanging out with the audience. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you don't get that anymore. I don't know.
That's because most music is synthesized these days. Are you kidding me? Not to mention rewrites of old classic songs. Like how many people came to me like, I didn't realize that Dua Lipa and Elton John were singing one of his old songs. I'm like, you didn't? Have you never?
Dude, that's been happening forever, but it's gotten
he's
now.
Brilliant, actually. He's very brilliant for rebranding his own shit in compilations with newer artists, essentially. Like, hey, let's have everyone remember how awesome my music was, always, from like 45 years ago.
What I think is hilarious is when they have music, like people like have music out and they're like, oh my God, we've never heard this before. I'm like, Honey, that actually is a remake of a song that came out in '95.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or
Oh, that was a remake that came out in '75. Like that's what's hilarious about it. It's like, oh,
I like how there was that one where it was like back in the day, but I mean, I know they have newer examples, but it was like Britney and Madonna came out and they're like, oh my God, I don't know who that old lady is, but Britney's just totally going to make her career. They did that with
that's
Elton
hilarious.
too. I don't know who that old guy is, but his career is totally being made.
So funny and terrible.
So do you guys think, I mean, is this just how it is now? Is this just the life we live, or is anything going to change?
I think it's going to get worse. I think it's going to get worse. I think anything that can be put into a sub format, anything that you have to pay monthly for, it's going to be done. There's a grocery program online that you can get stuff delivered to your door. It's one of those super healthy kind of stores, but in order to even shop for the groceries, you have to be a sub to their store and pay a monthly fee. Then you pay for the food, and then you pay for the shipping for it to get to your door. That's why the food.
Costco?
Yeah. Food costs went up.
Groceries don't already cost $300 for like a couple of bags,
right?
Yeah.
I'm always amazed. Like before, like not even 10 years ago, I don't know, like 5 years ago, maybe even. I don't know. I could get all the food I needed for at least a couple weeks just for me. I could get it for less than $100. Now it's like almost 300.
Yeah.
For the same amount, like
dog food.
Dog food for my babies
it was $120.
$62 a bag to feed my dogs. $62 a bag.
Wow.
And they're piggies. Aren't you, Rosalie? Yes, you are.
So
I have to go buy my cat some new food soon here.
So I want to ask you guys this. I noticed, like I said, I was going to go see Bad Religion for the 14th time last year, and they canceled because it was going to be 2021, and they canceled.
Right.
So then they sold, and this is Chicago. They were touring with Alkaline Trio, and they canceled the tickets, and they go, "We're not going to refund. We're going to refund everybody."
Oh, yes,
they weren't going to hold on to the money and stuff like that. But then they came back last year, and instead of being, let's say, the $40 or $50, it was $200 instead.
God damn!
It was not set by the artists, and it's set by the venue. So they go, we didn't make money from concerts for a year and a half, 2 years, so now we jacked up our prices. Now, I don't know how often you guys do concerts. Do you see anything like that where you guys are at? Like maybe it's just Chicago based that we're seeing it?
Oh no, it's everywhere. It's a lot. No, like everywhere it's been jacked up. The fees have been so high, like even like renters and all that, like everything's gone up. And they shouldn't be able to because we're supposed to have regulations for that. But no.
Yeah, I'm interested too.
Gilded Age, what?
To see sometimes the differences between how things are done on the East Coast and like how we do things on the West Coast. Aubrey or Anthony, have either of you guys been to a concert in say the last year or two?
I haven't been to a concert since I was maybe 14.
Yeah, I haven't. I mean,
for reals. Like I've never been to a concert that my parents didn't take me to as a teenager.
Oh wow.
Because it's always something I didn't know about until like the week of, or the tickets are so astronomically high, or I just couldn't even get them to begin with because they sold out within the first, half an hour.
True.
And so yeah, I've never gotten to. I remember 1 year for Christmas, I was like, I hear Lady Gaga's coming to Sacramento. I would really love tickets, Mom. And then she kind of came back at me like after everything was done, like, yeah, sorry, no, they were like $260 a piece. I didn't
probably for the cheap tickets.
And then it so pissed me off that like literally every gay I knew in the area was going to see Lady Gaga. I'm like, you motherfucker. Okay, whatever. Whatever. I'm just never gonna get to see anybody I know. I would live to go to a Gorillaz concert because they are the only animated band and I love all their music. I would love to see Britney. I would love to see Lady Gaga. I would love to see Adele. But even Adele now is like such a high stature tier thing that everyone goes to fucking propose at. That like you're not going to get those tickets anytime soon.
Right.
I know that a lot of these people have done like the residencies in Vegas even, and that's great. But, like the last time I went to Vegas was almost 8 years ago, and even that was like really weird because how much it had changed since I was in my 20s to when I turned 30. Like half the shit I wanted to do is no longer there. And
Right.
most
Wow.
of the stuff that I thought I could do wasn't open during the middle of the week because apparently Vegas is no longer a city that never sleeps kind of place. It closes down at 10 o'clock on a Wednesday.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
concert that ticket that you were wanting is still going to be a $70 or $80 ticket.
well, either that or it's going to be like a 9-month wait to get one.
I take it back. I did go to a concert in 2019. I take it back, but it was a gift, and they were not cheap.
Yeah.
And it was to the Michael Jackson experience for a dead person, guys.
Right, for an experience, not even
It
like
was
the
for,
actual
it was for an
artist.
hologram. It was for a hologram. Honestly, it was one of the best concerts I ever went to. I was bawling. I was bawling to the
It's like a Disney ride, right?
made
Like,
it.
that was awesome.
I think I made it
want
like
it
2
again?
songs, and I was crying the whole time.
I can go 10 minutes away from my house and go experience the Michael Jackson experience.
You know what? As someone who has as many drag kings that was at my show as I do, I wish I had a Michael Jackson experience. I wish.
Honey,
One of
I
these
will come. I will
days,
come and do the
Mr.
Michael Jackson experience for you, dear.
Make it happen. Make it so.
Come on.
I will do it. I that's what I'm known for. I'm known for doing my Michael Jackson. So
You have full permission anytime you get a Wednesday off from your other gig.
Ha.
And
Say Wong says MJ is the best with him not being there.
hey, if you need a white guy to be able to actually accurately do the Carlton dance to It's Not Unusual, I can do it.
I will
Wow.
somehow make that part of a game just for the show that you're coming to.
Oh,
It's gonna be a whole list of like who can dance these dances.
play the freaking song and I'll make it happen. I'm
Okay.
already slated to slated to sing Angel's song, right? So, you know, we'll make it a whole effing act.
There
Why
we
not?
go.
Forrest came to California and he left his mark.
No, don't worry. I mean,
Hey.
I did get the 17th off of April.
Oh.
So.
Hey guys, I see Distance Nerding. What's up, DN?
What's
Is
up?
in the chat. They're asking Say Wong if Say Wong is a wrestling fan. Is anybody here a wrestling fan?
You
Like,
see-
how are
used to
those
be.
prices? Are those prices like I've never been to a wrestling
I
show,
used to be.
so I don't know if ticket prices have gone up or if they, if that's still a good family value to go.
Okay, so I say I used to be Aubrey because of the fact that my grandmother was a huge Stone Cold Steve Austin fan. Like, she at 65, she's like, oh, he's so cute. Like, just obsessed. Like, if she had a
Hey,
cardboard
let
cutout of
Graham
him,
have that.
she'd be happy. As a result, like, that was one of those weird things that we kind of bonded over for a little bit. Was like she was obsessed with wrestling for Stone Cold. I got obsessed with the wrestling because the PlayStation games, and then like we had like family gatherings to watch WWE events. And
Mhm.
I remember when like Man Thing went through the floor, and everyone's like, "That wasn't part of the script." Like that was when I was into wrestling. Nowadays, I couldn't tell you anybody outside of Triple X, and even then, or is it Triple H?
Triple H.
Triple H, yeah, exactly. It's been
I
that
couldn't.
long.
Yeah,
It's been
no,
that
I
long.
agree. You want to know? Last time I really watched a really big wrestling thing was in 1996 when the Ultimate Warrior came back.
Oh my god.
That was my. But I was into it. I was so into it. I was like, yes.
The only Warrior.
It was the
show I
summer.
went
It was
to
the summer
Ninja
that I had
Warrior.
television.
So I guess the question is with wrestling, and Say Wong said that they're even for the sporting events, and Ark said that too. Is that true for cons as well? Is most cons through Ticketmaster where you guys are at?
No.
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 No,
You
you
can
can go to
order.
our local comic book shop and buy them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Eventbrite. Sometimes
Or-
people will use
yeah, Eventbrite.
Eventbrite.
Mhm. That's why I
I
got
did
mine.
a fundraiser this last week, actually.
MegaCon and DragonCon, you can go to their respective websites and even get the VIP tickets directly from there. However, you got to be early to it because the VIP stuff will go. It'll be sold out the second this current con is over. They'll go
And
on
honestly,
sale
it's
next
better
year.
to buy the all 3 days. I've noticed it's better just to buy all 3 days and go 1 day or 2 days if you can. Even if you can't do it, just buy the 3-day pass because it's actually cheaper.
St.
Overall.
Hog is saying that for a lot of the national big ones, I'm guessing San Diego Comic Con,
Like
Oh, yeah.
WonderCon, Dragon Con, those are probably some of the. St. Wong says Animo Expo. I think they still partner with Ticketmaster.
See, I'm so mad that I have not been to a drag con yet in LA. They've had like 7 of them now.
There is a drag con. Well, of course,
There's a RuPaul's drag con.
Oh,
I can see it.
And every single queen I know has been to it except for me. And it's always because it's a weird time of year. They always seem to want to do it on Mother's Day weekend for a restaurant person. Like, I can't get that time off. It's a blackout date no matter what. Like, they will not let you do it. And if you just said, fuck it, I'm calling in and going, like, they're going to just be like, well, I guess you're fired now. Because they know it's a big fucking lie. So I've never gotten the time off approved, even when I thought I could go, the world shut down. And then outside of that, like it's just always on a weird time frame that I just can't get that time off. Last year I wanted to go. I asked for it 6 months in advance. And my work legit was like, oh, well, that's a tricky weekend because this person, and this person already also requested that time. And so we can give you like Friday and Sunday off, but not Saturday. I'm like, okay, well, bitch, it's in LA. So that doesn't work for me. I can't like leave and then come back and then go back.
right.
It's an all or nothing thing. And yeah, like you said, the VIP like 3-day deal is way better than just buying the one ticket or like trying to get 2 other days because that's more money. Well, now it's not a request. Right now it's demand. You're giving me this time off. Otherwise, you can suck my dick and I will go find other employment.
So is there any ticket that you would say it's worth the cost no matter what? Is there someone on your bucket list that you'd pay that $300 a ticket to go see?
If I got to meet her, probably Lady Gaga. If I got to literally sit down, have a conversation, like talk to her for more than like 2 minutes.
So you're saying no, there's nobody you would go see.
Thank you for crushing my dreams, man. Me and her are meant to be like soulmates. You'd have no idea. It's fine.
On the flip side, Anthony, this might be an interesting one to ask you, maybe even Aubrey, because I think these affect you two guys more. Do you think, like I've noticed here in the Bay Area, one thing that's really popular is like not backyard wrestling, but like smaller venue wrestling as opposed to, the big name WWE or, some of the bigger leagues. You get a lot of guys that will rent out a venue and, put on smaller shows here. Do you think the higher ticket prices for concerts and things lead to more people going to smaller shows, like more local productions as opposed to, a big stage production or a small local singer as opposed to Lady Gaga or something like that? Does it help the other one?
No.
No,
that's sad.
But at the same time, like I feel like as a theater kid, again, I come from a lot of community theater stuff. You typically have a community that's there to support the people who are in the show.
That's true.
Because they know them on a personal level. But there are also people that, they can't afford the Broadway production of a musical. So if that one happens to come through on a local level, they might go give it a shot. Especially like if you have a pretty decent theater company that's running it that typically has consistent talent.
But music, not really.
Huh?
But music, not really.
No, not for just standalone music. I mean, there was a concert that they did like oh God, what's his name? He sings "Sweet Caroline." Who's
oh my
that?
Gosh, that's
Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond. No, Neil Diamond. Yeah,
that's Neil Diamond.
So they had some like impersonator for that at one of these events that I was doing, and just watching it was like sad. Like it was really cringy because it was just this old ass man just kind of doing his karaoke realness. I'm like, I don't see the allure for this. The fact that you're getting paid for this concerns me. But good on you. Good on you.
You see cover bands all the time, though.
Maybe, but even then, they'd probably get slapped with some kind of lawsuit. Like if there's like a really solid Lady Gaga impersonator, they'd be sued for music copyright. So
unless they're doing a karaoke thing, but yes.
Well, yeah. So I mean that's the tricky part about like wrestling. I've seen a lot of small town wrestling at cons, They always seem to have one of those set up outside. So like there's clearly a little underground community of that, kind of like how drag is its own community, in a sense. But even with drag, like it's one of those like things that's so hard to get the main public on board with, to like, hey, come spend your time and watch a bunch of nerds do something that, you know, isn't sponsored by any big corporation.
Right. Yeah, I don't know where it went to, where like concerts or theater that's smaller is where it's not seen as being any good. And also, I mean, I, as someone who's been a part of those smaller shows or smaller theater productions, you don't get paid very much. You get paid.
Oh, I don't get paid for rent. I don't get paid for rent.
Exactly.
Really?
Which blows me away.
No, I'm doing it sheerly out of the love of being able to play the part.
I played a major character
for a community theater that gets to take money for it, but I'm also proud to do it because they're letting me have the ability to. So
yeah, I got paid for a play that I did in 2019. I got paid $125 for the whole play, and I drove an hour twice a week for rehearsals.
Goodness.
Wow.
Okay,
and I mean that's one way.
You need to go to Fairfield because they pay me a substantial amount of money. Like I usually average like $1,200 a show.
Oh, jeez.
But it's for the whole run of the production. But it's also because I live further away. Most of their performers get like $500 though.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It's weird that we only. But I mean, it was still a great play. But it was only 125. It was called You Better Ask Somebody. It was a smaller production. But I played the lead character, but I was like, I had to drive so much for that show, and then it was also in San Francisco. I got paid for none of that.
Jeez.
Yeah, and that has been consistent.
Mm-hmm. Anthony, can I ask, the show that you're doing, that you're saying that you're not getting paid for? Are they? I mean, how does that theater work? Do they typically make just enough to keep the lights on? Is it a small little community theater?
So it is a community theater that's been very long standing there. And from what I know, most of how they keep the place running is through donations of their like board members. So there's a very, small populace of very wealthy individuals that are from the couple of nicer areas of the Stockton area that really keep this place funded through their donations and through their support continuously. Because really the rights for shows alone are ridiculous. Hang on.
I mean, to be fair, that's something I will say too, is that like I did not have a problem.
Even to put on a production like this, it's like $50,000 for the rights to do the show. That doesn't pay for the lights, that doesn't pay for the sound, that doesn't pay for your tech people.
Which I think is still exorbitant. I don't think
their tech people, their sound people, their set people, and their costume people, and their directors. So those people that get paid. I was a costumer for one show, but even still, for costuming Little Mermaid, the fee that they paid me to do that job, being responsible for producing 96 costumes, $300. That was my stipend.
Wow, for the whole thing?
For the whole fucking thing. And I also played Prince Eric. Now, I got a $3,000 budget for materials, but that money didn't go to me. That just paid for the shit that I put my time and energy and effort and art into making their show.
Right, but now, you're still only talking about what, $30 per costume? With 96 costumes.
Yeah, and half of them, somebody else I basically tapped on to like make all the human stuff so I can make the animal stuff like over the top amazing. Because I was very ambitious. Like I was very like, let's make this like the Lion King. Let's do like puppets and kabuki and all this other stuff. I got stifled quite a bit based on a mindset of somebody like, oh, well, we need to make sure it's good enough for like some other company to rent, or, we don't want puppeted mermaid tails because that might look too phallic. And I'm like, you guys aren't seeing the vision that I'm seeing. I'm trying to make something magical for you
on a budget.
Really going, well, we need to make it more basic, which for me is just one of the worst things you could ever say.
I agree.
I had one breakdown moment during that show, and it was with my co-costumer regarding our seahorses. So if you've ever seen a seahorse, the tail curls forward.
Right.
She was trying to somehow convince me, well, it's not, I can't seem to get it to work that way. So let's just do it backwards.
No.
And I was like, yeah, but that's not what a seahorse looks like. Yeah, but I'm older than you, so therefore I know better. And this, I was like, I'm going to shut you down right there. I'm the designer, and I'm telling you, make that work the way I designed it.
Right.
Shut the hell up.
Right.
Yeah, she knows art. She knows art.
I want to be in a play with you, Anthony.
Yeah.
I mean that seriously.
So it was one of the few times I had to turn into mean Anthony and be like, no, I'm putting my foot down and telling you to shut the fuck up and get out of my way so I can do it, or you can do what I tell you to do. But we got an Ellie nomination for that. I'm happy for that.
But this okay, so this goes to and this is not really part of this topic, but maybe it is kind of adjacent to
what
it.
We got off topic. That never happens.
That never happens here.
Never.
Potato.
But it makes me think about especially when I was producing shows, I had a very, and maybe it's why I wasn't maybe the world's best producer, but I had a very strict philosophy that if I was making money, the people below me were making money. If I am putting on a show and I'm charging $10 for a ticket, if I'm asking you to come on and perform on that show, I'm going to pay you something. Now, it may only be a $20 to do a 30-minute set. You know what I mean? But if I'm collecting any money, I feel it's my obligation and right that the artists that are performing need to collect something as well. Do you feel like having a format like that gives it more, I guess, leniency to take advantage of artists? Well, they know that you're going to do it for free, so why pay you, right?
So here's where I kind of am on both sides of this. As somebody who produces my own drag show, the way I was able to establish my venue was to make the deal, I'll pay for my performers to meet a goal until you guys can take over that budget. And sadly, I went a whole year now and then some where I've never met that projected goal. Right. And my problem is that I feel like I need to pay my performers in order to get good, consistent talent, rotated talent in and out of that building because of how saturated drag is as a market. Right. However, I've also dealt with people who don't promote and tell people that they're going to my facility. They're not actively bringing anybody with them. All the people that are coming are just coming because they've heard it from me.
Right.
And so now I get to my own point. I'm trying to make money for people so that way the business can make money, that my other people can make money. But now I'm not making money because I'm the one literally producing it, and I'll break even more often than not or take a loss.
Right.
So if I'm not able to make money, should I just stop paying these people and say, hey, if you want to come through it for the love of it, do so. But outside of that, I'm tapped. Right. I'm tapped. I have nothing left for you other than to offer you a venue to do it.
Right. I faced a lot of, even doing, this KCP, doing this network, I have to pay for a streaming charge. Every time we have these Saber giveaways, these are things that I'm paying for out of my pocket. And I do realize, it's part of the growth, right? You've got to invest in any business.
Spend money to make money, yes. But at some point there's got to be a breaking point too, right? If you're seeing a consistent gain all the time, then you're going in the right direction. For me, it's so all over the place where there's a couple of weeks that we'll have a great crowd. We'll make upwards of $1,600. It's amazing. Everyone does well. We all do well. And then suddenly 2 weeks later, I have 20 people.
Yeah.
And suddenly they're buying anything in the bar, and the bar's only got $200 and they spend $100 on it towards the DJ. So it's so hit and miss that it's hard for me to keep on going with that because I'm not seeing consistent growth. I think more subscribers. That's what I keep hearing. So the one subscription that doesn't cost you anything, people, viewers like you, the button down here.
That's right. Subscribe right away.
Shit, but if you want to join our Patreon, we'll take your money.
Aubrey and Anthony, when you guys are doing smaller local shows, Aubrey, you do your karaoke show. Anthony, you do your drag show. Do you feel like you are in competition with Rihanna and Lady Gaga? When you put on a show, does your audience come out because they're looking for a certain thing? Or is it that you are a choice of entertainment for that night? And so it's either go see Aubrey's show or go to a big name concert? Or do you feel like they're not even
Do
in
I
the
think
same
that I'm in
category?
competition with RuPaul's Drag Race? No. Do I think I'm in competition with every other drag queen show within the span of 50 miles? Absolutely. Especially the one that started initially on a Tuesday and then moved their show to a Wednesday. And it used to be once a month Wednesday, and now it's every Wednesday. Yeah, that's my competition. Because clearly you chose the time and slot which I was doing something. And now, I'm going to monopolize it in this area that has a lot of the people that were going to you. And now I'm going to book them.
Right.
And those things I do see as competition. Again, with Lodi, it's such a small grassroots farming community that's very, very, very fucking Republican, Trump supporter, red through and through, that the fact that I have a gay anything is kind of like wow, you're doing that there, are you?
Right.
Great. Cool.
That's exactly what I said the first time you invited me to your show.
At the same time, I can say proudly that there is a small amount of my community that has gravitated towards us, and is very thankful because they're like, we never thought we'd have something this accessible to us here, and it means a lot for us. The only downside, y'all ain't fucking drinking enough. You're not high functioning alcoholics like myself. You're over here getting Shirley Temples and just hanging out all night, and now I'm just
sorry.
Like,
Anthony said high functioning alcohol.
That want to just have fun.
Sorry, I'm not an alcoholic. Sorry, I don't drink. Sorry.
Okay, but you're also working Wednesdays, so it's not on you.
I know, but still, I'm like, sorry. But when I come, I'm not going to drink.
What part of Canada are you from?
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't help you. I apologize.
I mean, that is definitely a point. I know when I was running my poetry show in Sacramento, there'd be some nights we'd pack in 70, 80 people a night. When I was running that same exact show in Fairfield, still bringing the same big name stars. I mean, some nights I'd be lucky to get 10, 15 people in.
I mean, it's just, I think that it's a crapshoot. I think it's a crapshoot. Honestly, I have had it where I've had 10 people show up to a show, but I got tipped $100. And then I've had 50 people show up and got tipped nothing. So it's like weird how that happens.
Right.
Or like $5 or $10. And it's like,
I think the size of the city does have a play into it though. Like with Sacramento, they have a whole district that's centered around gay clubs that, of course there's going to be 5 shows around there. I don't even have a gay club. I have a club that features a gay night. Like that's the best thing I got going for me. Right. So like case in point with your poetry readings, maybe you're only getting like 0.05% of the population in Sacramento, but you're actually getting 2% in Fairfield. But the difference of those numbers makes it so that it's significantly smaller as far as your turnout rate.
Right.
I mean, here's what I can say is that I do have people that come and be like, you're the best karaoke show in town or in the area. We love your show. But then it's like, well, where are you motherfuckers? Why aren't you showing up?
Right. I think
like, no, people come to see you. And it's like, okay, well, I'm not seeing that.
I think that's one of those weird expectations in art. It's like, especially when we had a life sentence running. That show ran for 5 years. So a lot of times people are like, oh, well, they do this every month. So if I don't go this month, they'll be there next month. And they just expect that you're going to always be there, not knowing that if they don't show up, you are not going to be there.
Right. We just got told at one of our shows, at one of our venues, that they're going to try a different karaoke host because we haven't had as many people as is with me and my boss. And it's like, you guys really do not understand that you're going to have low nights and big nights. And also, apparently they don't understand that between January and April, it doesn't matter what you're in. If you're doing any type of, music, if you're in the music industry, you just know it's slow. It's slow as fuck because we're still coming off of Christmas.
Holidays.
Well, and taxes. Taxes is a big thing. Everyone's realizing, oh shit, I owe a lot more money to the government than I thought I did.
This year people are going to be owing a lot more money, apparently.
I mean, it's kind of like that for every industry. In retail, I mean, we always take a hit right after December, from January until taxes.
But I swear, these managers, and they're like, surprise Pikachu face. We are just dipping low in our numbers, and it must be your fault. And it's like, how is this our fault? We
Right.
come consistently do a good show every year, not every year, every week. How is this like, dude? This is you guys changing the consistency because they'll go like, oh, we can't do every week, we have to do every other week. All right, well, you're gonna fuck yourselves, and then who's gonna be blamed? Me. But that's not on me; it's on you.
Right.
Like,
Well, I even had it just a couple of weeks ago. I had people walk in at 9:30 thinking that's when the show started. And I was like, I'm sorry, I switched it to 7 o'clock at the beginning of the year. Like, it's been 3 months that we've done this, and you're just now showing back up
Yep.
to learn that no, that wasn't the case.
Right.
What's worse is that one of them actually works at that fucking building. I'm like, seriously? They never told you? Okay,
Right?
cool. Thanks.
It's kind of insane.
Yeah, I've had a weird thing where like I had one of my flyers somehow end up at a bar in Kentucky, and so I got like a phone call asking about open mic, and after a minute or two, I realized the person was nowhere near me. And I was like, "Where are you calling me from?" I have no idea how my flyer got out there,
I
but
wish they had more open mics in this area, and on days that I could do them because they had an open mic here on Saturdays, and unfortunately, I was working on Saturdays when they had them, so I was like, I can't go, can't do it, curses. These
I
guys
would
do
love
this
to
at like
start
5
another.
o'clock, and I have to be over at the work at 5:30. There's no way I'm doing that.
I would love to start run another show again. Like I said, we had a show run for 5 years called Life Sentence, and our show was an open mic, and then there was a slam feature. So I'd bring in a big name poet from around the country somewhere, and then or a poetry feature, and then a slam at the end, which is competitive poetry. So we were always paying out like I think it was $50 for the night or something like that for first place. So yeah, I would love to run a monthly or a live show again. Live shows are fun. Well, that was that. Jesus,
Anyway,
that put a fucking
Well,
nail down in that
Well,
conversation.
I still want to hear the rest of the bucket list from you guys. Anthony talked about he would pay the high fee to go. Who would the rest of you go see?
Who would we pay high money to go see?
Yep.
Who would you go see, Force?
Well, I was actually rather shocked. I went to Star Wars Celebration last time it was here in Orlando, which was back in 2017.
Oh, wow.
I had an opportunity to pay $242 to go have 15 seconds in front of Mark Hamill, and I didn't take it.
Wow.
I had money, but I didn't do it. I didn't take it, and I'm actually glad that I didn't because it turns out he purposefully wore his ugliest sweater and did the cheesiest, most terrible, stupid force push pose in every photo he took. And it was absolutely
Why is
slammed
that?
the day he was there. And I'm glad I did not pay all that money to be next to him wearing his ugliest sweater ever with a cheesy force push pose.
why did he do that?
No
You
idea.
know?
Can?
He's a funny guy, and
Yeah,
what he
sure, he
did.
was pretty eccentric. And I think, and a lot of times, I think he also might have been doing some of that because he was standing against the man because he hated the way that the Last Jedi was.
It's possible.
He was
I
totally fighting that.
I felt bad for everybody who paid $242. But to the question Graveyard gave out, who would I pay big money to go see? Gosh, it's always the same freaking answer. I would pay big money to get into any con to see my favorite voice actress, Lisa Ortiz. I
There you
would
go.
pay
I like
money to
it.
get in, and I'd pay money to see her and have her sign my Slayer's book and just fulfill my
That's awesome.
my secret dream. My should have been wife.
That's
They pay
funny.
big money to meet somebody. It was Bianca Del Rio, and she was doing her stand-up in San Francisco. We bought the tickets that were front and center of that stage. I was up in that bitch's face. We were like first in line to meet and greet, and of course somebody who came like an hour and a half after us was like, "Oh, we're handicapped. We need to go in front of you." And I was like, "Oh, that is so fucking rude. Screw you, first of all," because they weren't like that handicapped. It was just she was old. But whatever. Somebody got in front of me. I've been there forever in a day. I was dressed as a loofah because I wanted something comfortable. I thought we were walking around the goddamn city all day. I wish I would have picked something else. But I met her, And I'm such a huge fan, and I had painted her a painting and everything. And I think the only words that got out of my mouth were like, "Oh my God, you're real." And like the rest of the time, she was just talking. Like, "Oh, it's so nice to meet you. Oh, you got me a present. Oh, this is great. Can someone open this for me? All right, let's take a picture. Let's get one in. All right, cool." And then the entire show, she's meeting left and right. She's answering questions that we wrote down at the beginning. And I never got any of the attention during the show to get made fun of. And I was like, "Bitch, I'm right here. This is easy target material. Come on." Like,
right. When I went to SAC Anime last, I went specifically to see Tara Strong. I'm a huge Tara Strong fan. I had to get her to autograph some stuff, but I was amazed listening to the other people in line because, you know, with what we do with Kyber Cave, I've met different celebrities. They don't really gig me. I don't get as fanboy as I used to get. But it is amazing to me that how important, like I was listening to some of these people. They're like, "Oh yeah, I got to meet such and such and such and such and such and such." I was like, "You didn't get to meet them. You got to go up and talk to them for a minute while they signed your shit." You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But to them, that was meeting that artist. That was, I got to spend time with, you know, Tara Strong. I existed
in the same space with them for moments.
Right. And, you know, for some people, I guess that's enough. For me, I was like, you know, it felt very routine and very rote. You know what I mean? I felt like I was getting pushed through a factory production line. So it gave me a little bit of insight into that. But yeah, I don't know. I for me nowadays, honestly, and this sounds terrible, but at a high price, I don't think there's anybody I like would want to go see. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, if I get
I'd pay money to come see you, Van. Oh wait, I did pay money to come see
you. Oh,
what about you, Aubrey? Sorry, you still going, Van?
No. I just can't think of anybody that I would really spend big money to go see nowadays. Maybe it's just because I don't have it, but
Celine Dion. But only if I could actually sing. If I could actually get some time with her to sing with her, like that'd be awesome. But that's been like a thing I've wanted to do since I was like 10. So
nice,
cool.
Alrighty.
And maybe William Shatner, but you know.
Time for a segue.
Segue.
You didn't ask me. Oh.
Graveyard, Stampy. Who would you pay money to go see?
I think two of you know the answer. I think Aubrey and Forrest know who exactly I would go pay money to go see. Yes.
See, I knew too.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I've met him once. I'm meeting him again in next month. So,
yay!
Yeah, that should be fun.
Totally ask him to you know, be on your. They mostly pot out at night, mostly.
See, I'm waiting for us to become like those accidental celebrities. Like I think about almost all of the Star Wars people that I know that I hang out with. Tim Donaldson was a Jawa in A New Hope. Alan Fernandez was a Tusken Raider. They got their jobs accidentally. It's not like they were like, you know, like really well-named, known artists and actors that they're like, oh, we got to go get this Alan Fernandez guy. No, they got Alan Fernandez because they rented the elephant and Alan came with the elephant.
That's funny.
But I think it's amazing how there are so many people. Like right now, Tim is packing up to go to Germany to go to a Star Wars con in Germany. And I was like, man, how many people make a career and a living from something that happened by accident? They just happened to be on a set somewhere and got thrown in front of the camera. And now all of a sudden there are fans that are seeking their autograph. When's my break, damn it?
Well, sometimes you're there at the right place at the right time. It's also a lot of hard work. I mean, what they don't tell you is that even though you get accidentally in there, and sometimes that does happen, usually you've been in the industry for at least 10 to 15 years beforehand.
Yeah, well, I can tell you that wasn't the case with Tim and or Alan. Tim was 5 years old when he got cast in Star Wars. It's not like he was a professional industry.
No, but his parents probably like were taking him to all the auditions and doing all that.
In his case, no, they weren't. They were actually they just happened to be doing they needed pickup shots for Tatooine, and they were doing it down in Death Valley. So then the George Lucas and the crew, he has a great story when he tells, but he says George Lucas, they came in and they're like, we're looking for a bunch of 5-year-olds. We want to take them to a hotel and put them in costumes. And at that time, nobody thought that was weird.
The 70s.
The 70s. Anyway.
So yeah. All right. Next segment. Do we self-sabotage?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and good. We're done.
All right. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate
Thank you for coming in, guys.
tonight.
We're ending 40 minutes early tonight. The unprecedented levels. We just all agreed on one something, so we're good.
And
we're done.
And the reason we're ending is because we're not good enough to make you people laugh. Good night.
Good night.
So, Anthony, I heard a big giggle. What is there a particular area in your life you self-sabotage, or just all areas equally?
Shit. In a lot of ways. I mean, first of all, hi, sippy. This is just orange juice in this cup. There's no rum. There's no Sailor Jerry.
Sure.
My face is not turning progressively red throughout the night. No, do I self-sabotage? Always. I'm my one biggest critic. So even on times that people are constantly saying, oh, you did such a great job, or oh, you're this, that. I even get any bit of praise. I'm just like, I don't deserve this because I know I sucked at this other part. And so even with my audition, yes, I got the part. I got the callback. I got the part. But at the callbacks, I felt confident enough. I'm going to put this script down. I can sing this song from memory, and I've done it 3,000 times. And in that arrogance, I still hit the high note, killed it, and then immediately skipped a line in my song, and then felt so stupid because it's well, fuck! I literally had the lyrics right there, offered to me to use for this moment, and in my arrogance, I put that aside and then fucked it up. But in my defense, I'm also still good enough that I got the part. So kind of balanced out. I don't know. I'm thinking of taking, again, this time to do a character who's a recovering junkie, to take that moment and become sober again during the course of this production, and just be a meta actor that way. Yes, I'm abstaining from my substance abuse issues because I'm trying to get into character. And that will be my deciding factor versus just telling myself have willpower for once. Because if I did that, well, that's a lie. That's a lie. You're going to have willpower today. No, something's going to rock my world. That's going to piss me off. And I'm going to go, you know what? I could really use a shot after all that. Let's have a few. Let's have a few more. So self-sabotage, absolutely know all about that. And scene. Somebody else, please.
Self-sabotage? What is that? I have no idea what that is.
I know, you're just perfect, aren't you, girl? Perfect in every way.
So you had mentioned arrogance as being the reason for self-sabotage on that. But what are some other reasons people do or have self-sabotage? You got anything, Graveyard?
Yeah, it's we discussed this before a few months back, the imposter syndrome, right? It's that it's to Anthony's point. I don't necessarily think it's always arrogance. I think it's just that you realize that you screwed up and you hope that no one else notices. And it's always that something in the back of your head. You are your biggest critic. Because some of the brewery story that happened a couple of weeks ago with the brewery that said I wasn't good enough to keep working there. They go, hey, come back. We won't pay you. We want your recipes. You can brew here, but we won't pay you. We need you back. Our business is dead. I go, no.
Right.
And they go, well, they're like, oh, you're just a home brewer. I'm like, my beer made this restaurant and brewery be able to be sold, and now your business is dead 3 years later. You go, come back. No, I'm not going to do that. It's yes, I want to do it. I want to brew. It's huge passion of mine. But I'm like, I'm not going to do it for free. I've been brewing for, 14 years, professional, brewer for 2.5, started 2 breweries, helped out other breweries, but they go, oh, you're just a home brewer, trying to belittle you into it. And then, that still hits me hard, even though I know they're full of crap. And, in this area, it's brewery is a small community. I always get asked, other breweries get asked where I'm at, where can they find me and stuff like that. It sounds great, but if people would give me money to open up my own brewery, that'd be great. I don't have the funds to do that. So I'm kind of self-sabotaged that way, in that, I could do it. I could go out there, do the legwork, could get the money, could get the loans, get, other people's money. It's just something I just don't do right now. On top of that, with let's face it, I was very, very self-conscious doing the 2 Retro Alcoves the past 2 weeks by myself.
Really?
Yeah, it's. I realized that in my head, I'm not that entertaining, so that's why I like having you guys as part of with me, because I think it makes for, first off, a better show. It gives me someone to play off with, so I'm not just by myself. I'm not good at talking to the camera. I'm getting better at it, but I still don't feel that comfortable, And with the gaming live, when Forrest was on vacation or I've taken over, he knows that I very critical of myself when stupid OBS doesn't work right, and I bang my head against the wall. When I had issues with Dead Space, I couldn't sleep. I was like going through, like, all right, what tech do I need to make this happen? And maybe spending too much money on it to do it. But it's just, it's not necessarily self-sabotage, but I just feel like there's always something wrong that I'm doing.
Perfectionism, maybe, or
yeah. So it's just part of in my head that, self-sabotage for me is really getting inside my own head.
Right.
And that's really what it comes down to is, I have major anxiety, I have major depression, and stuff like that does get to me. And, I take it out. I'm a picker, right? So I will sit here and sometimes when even at work, I will pick my entire fingernail completely off, just make it a bloody mess, just as part of it, as anxiety. That's how I deal with it. So yeah, I mean, self-sabotage is a thing. Imposter syndrome is a thing. And, I don't, you guys have heard me say this. I don't watch the stuff I'm in unless I'm editing. We'll never do it.
Same.
So
I'm very similar in that, I mean, all the shows that I do with other people. There's nothing that I do by myself. I feel very naked when I'm by myself on air. So I very much understand that. What about you, Force?
You really want to come to me with
Uh-oh,
that?
oh shit.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
You know
Get on
the
with
story.
it.
Shoot, you can give Aubrey the freaking screen and she'll tell you my story. She knows it well enough. She knows look at her. She knows what my problem is. Give her the damn screen. She will explain to the T what my problem is. Go ahead, give it the screen. Watch
Okay,
this.
okay,
Watch
okay.
this. Shit.
No, you don't. No.
You
No,
put your
Miss
ass on the
Empath, do
spot.
And scene. Okay.
No, okay, so he gets way too in his head about things, and then he over analyzes them, and then he over extrapolates on them, and then he's like, no, I can't do this. And then he will procrastinate.
When we know he can.
Well, yeah, of course. And then he beats himself up for every single itty bitty little mistake that ever gets made. He beats himself up on it.
And then
he's like, I'm not good enough.
And there it is.
I'm not good enough for this. I don't know why anyone likes me on this, because I'm not good enough. Why do you even care?
Why do you even care? Nobody likes me. Nobody loves me. I'm not worthy of love. I'm not worthy of friendship. I'm not worthy of any of you. I'm not worthy to share a screen. So I'm just going to go out and have another Egg McMuffin and fade away.
I find it very interesting that you say that, for us, because a few times you've made mention of me being the leader of this motley crew or whatever, and I often don't feel that way. In fact, yeah, I'm trying to do the. In fact, there's a lot of times I know even when I was doing spoken word poetry, when I'd be a part of a team or something, even in my school, in my classroom right now, like I feel like I'm in a team, but I'm not of the team. Does that make
Mm.
sense? Like I'm part of a group, but I'm always the guy that's standing over here on lookout. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So
You're the
even when I'm
scout,
a
yeah.
part of something, I don't feel like I'm a part of it. That's why, like, I get very honestly, I get super self conscious when I come on the gaming shows with you guys. Like, I feel like you
Oh
guys are so
no.
much like more entertaining than I am that I just like I don't want to go on there and have to try to compete with that shit.
I mean, there's a reason why I get called captain.
Oh,
No,
Captain,
no.
my captain.
Here,
Right.
give me the screen. I'll God honestly answer the question for you. Go. So my deal is, I had a friend once tell me, you have all the potential in the world, but you never finish anything. Like you, all the potential. Like you want to make it in radio, you've got the voice for it. You want to do a podcast, you've got the voice for it. You want to be a voice actor, you've got the voice for it, but you don't freaking do it. You don't go after it. And for years and years and years and years and years, I've tried to explain to people, well, I've got a family, or I've got this job. I'm not a risk
Yes, yes.
taker. You know what I mean? So
Because you have actual like adult obligations
truth,
and like bills to
Responsibilities, yeah.
pay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right,
again,
and-
subscriptions that are now monthly for everything.
Oh my God, subscription are taking all the monies. All the money.
I mean, it's, and I do get really, really down on myself when I F up. So yes, I do self-sabotage. Like I am perfectly aware of the consequences of having something that's bad for me. And I'm not talking about like chronic smoking or anything like that. I'm talking about like something as stupid as carbs. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm one of those type of people where it's like, oh my God, if I get this taste of toothpaste in my mouth before my fast is over, then I've officially broken my fast and I failed. You know, like there was
You're so
God
hard on
honestly
yourself.
a point where I was thinking that. So it's like, rinse your mouth out, spit it all out, quick, quick, quick. I'm still super proud of where I've gotten, on this journey. You could go watch the first interview I ever had with Van and then come back and watch this, and there's a hell of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not on my mind every day. I don't think about that. I think about how much further I've got to go.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure at this point mentally, Gesundheit, if there even is a goal. Like I'm not sure if there is an end game to this. I just made a Facebook post the other day about quote unquote every other day. Like I like to post when something really good happens. Like I reach a new weight loss plateau or I'm able to accomplish something. The Philly thing was enormous for me. Like it's so stupid to so many other people, but like the fact that I actually got in the car and drove up there for one of the purposes was to like run up those stairs and say to the world, I lost this weight and I was healthy enough to run up these stairs without injuring myself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm absolutely proud of things like that. But then, when you get back to the everyday, it's like, I'm hungry. I'm hungry, or I'm tired, or this hurts. And so there is definitely a level of self-sabotage, and it's when I give up on the small things. Like maybe I don't want to push hard on that rep today. Like I went to the gym today and I feel like I didn't accomplish enough. Oh, foot fours, you should be so proud that you went and did it and you tried. Well, yeah, be that as it may, but I'm not like sore. You know what I mean? Like I got work done, but once again, I walked out the door feeling like I didn't accomplish much. If you put it on paper, I accomplished a lot, but I don't feel like I accomplished a lot. So that is the point where it's like now I'm self-sabotaging because now I'm walking out feeling like I'm a failure. A lot of times we take our successes and we
Turn
treat
them
them
into
like
failure. Yeah.
failures.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 weeks until I see you all. I have 3 weeks and I don't feel ready. I don't feel accomplished. I don't feel like when I get off that plane, y'all are going to be like, damn, look what you've done. I'm not feeling it.
Well,
matter
okay.
no matter how much I work.
There's a few things to that, Aaron. First off, I think for the most part, you're correct because none of us give a shit about that. Like,
Correct.
it doesn't matter to me if you're 500 pounds or 150 pounds. That's not why we love and appreciate you. So, however you get off, I mean, and to me, it almost does seem like self-sabotaging, right? Because, and you know that for a fact that we don't give a shit. So you're setting up these goals that almost seem like they're unaccomplishable because if your goal is for us to be like, wow, he really, and I mean, we feel you're
Damn, that
accomplishing
daddy
for
fine. Look at him. I want to jump that shit.
you.
Yep, that's
Like,
how it
hey,
is.
you're here. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Like,
Right. I mean, it almost does seem like self-sabotage because no matter what your goal is, we're going to feel the same regardless. We're not necessarily going to feel like, oh, we're happier because you're 50 pounds lighter. If I'm happier because you're 50 pounds lighter, it's not because that 50 pounds makes a difference to me. It's because the 50 pound makes a difference to you. That's why I'm happy, because it makes you happier. But it doesn't make me happy because you are 50 pounds lighter.
So then let me generate a question for the group here. Why do we self-sabotage the way that we do? Like, what is each of our individual reasoning for it? Like, here, I'll go first on this one. I think I do it because it's a comparison game. Like, because I'm exposed to so many successes. Like, I think I fall for the same traps. Like, all of the successful pictures on Facebook, you know what I mean? Like the family who's like, we went to Ireland this year. And, but what I don't know is that this family probably scrimped and saved for 2 straight years and probably worked hella hours and killed themselves and probably had fight after fight after fight. And the one time they could probably smile together was when they were in Ireland, and they probably had a shit time anyway. Like, I fall
fake
for
smile
that.
anyways.
Yeah, I fall for that stuff. It's like, look at, it's same thing with the gym. I go to the gym, and granted, my Planet Fitness is great. Nobody is judgy. Everybody is really, really cool. They're respectful of each other's spaces. Nobody cranks their music in their earbuds too loud. Like, everybody is extra cool. And I'm still absolutely intimidated. I'll see dudes walk by me that are just freaking jacked. And I'm like, damn, dude. And I'm still over here, pulling this. I'm over here pulling this 110, and they're freaking over there doing 280. And I'm like, oh my God, bro, when am I going to get there? So, but I don't know how hard they work to get there. That's not what's on my mind. All I'm doing is I'm comparing myself to them, and I shouldn't be, because everybody in that gym, whether they're bigger than me in muscle or bigger than me because they're fatter than me, everybody's got a journey. And everybody's there for a reason, and they're all trying to just make it better for themselves. It's hard to focus on that. It's really hard to focus on that.
I think that's just human nature. I think so many times we focus on, because I see it all the time. I mean, I see it with you. In fact, when I do my commercials, wait, check this out real quick. Look at this guy. Hold on.
We are a channel that appreciates its viewers. We give our utmost effort for the best quality content. And we even push for the highest quality effort when it comes to how we look for you on screen.
Hi. When I need my skin to look its absolute best when I'm blowing the heads off zombies, I set my ring light to 4700K. Because I care. Maybe he's born with it.
Just looking at the difference in your face between that video and how you look now, you know what I mean? And I see a lot of my friends online, people that I know from my personal life, and they I've lost 30 pounds or 35 pounds this year. And I think it's so easy for us as human beings to look at the moment but not look at the entire journey, like you're talking about. Like, we talk about these overnight successes, not realizing that overnight took 10 years to get there.
Yes.
Yeah. And I also find it kind of irritating that many of the goals that we seek out, not just health, not just fitness or anything like that, it's frustrating that there are scams. Let's just call them what they are. Anthony knows there's scams out there that make you believe that a lot of our goals are attained overnight, and they're not. They take
Right.
years and years and years and years, sometimes a decade, to get to where you really want to be. To Aubrey's point, you know, how long do you really have to be in the industry, even just tailing and following around, before something significant really happens?
Right.
You know, like how often are people just randomly pulled off of YouTube and said, "Wow, your voice is great"? Like, not everybody's a Bieber. I'm sorry. And
Right.
it doesn't happen like that. It just doesn't happen like that. That's
Even
one of those.
You
right
said there's a
when
lot of things that's behind that. There's a lot of
Sure.
forces behind that are even that people aren't even looking at. Like they say Taylor Swift, oh, she came out of nowhere. No, her father was quite wealthy and was able to pay a lot of people to take a listen to her. Like that's
Most famous Americans are either like somebody who started at Disney before they were 16, or they're actually from Canada, Australia, or England. There's not a whole
or they
lot.
had very wealthy parents that are already in the system.
Yeah,
nepotism.
exactly. Somebody who's got nepotism and cronyism in their play already. Like you had access to all of this stuff, so you could excel at this. And to Aaron's point, like I have the same thing where people are always like, "Oh, you're so talented. You have all this going on for you. Like you have this, this, and this." And
Yeah.
I look at it and go, yeah, and I still make like under $40,000 a year. Like what? I don't have medical coverage, and what? So
Right.
like we are kind of set up to this idea of like the expectation of what we should be able to achieve, and then the reality of the situation met with the failure that we feel that because we didn't achieve that.
Right.
I had this conversation with my mom even recently, just because I did this audition. She's like, you know, so why don't you try out for like some of the professional shows out in Sacramento? And I was like, so if you're talking about like equity theater, yes, I could try and become an equity actor. However,
Yes.
to my knowledge, last I recall, you had to do like 8 shows with them as an unpaid intern, 40 hours a week, to just get the card so you could start getting paid for it.
Right.
Who's
And with SAG.
finances while I go pursue that? Because I
Right.
don't have those funds necessarily available. I'm not going to be able to work a side job on top of that. I work full time as it is, and I still deal with like chronic body pain issues and health complications because I don't have access to health care.
And again, that right there, that goes back to the point I was making earlier. I feel like they're looking for the risk takers. And what is that risk? That risk is you're going to go a set amount of time without the ability to do what you need to do to handle your responsibilities. A lot of people are like, they either have money saved up, or mom and dad are going to let you live in the basement for like 6 weeks or 6 months while you're trying to chase said quote unquote dream. I want to throw the question into Graveyard. Why do we sabotage? Graveyard, what do you think?
I really think it's, I think a lot of us, especially I'm pretty sure this group, we want to be happy with ourselves, but we do look at each other for answers, for feedback, for stuff like that. And for me personally, when I got married, when I had kids, I kind of realized that my role is now to help others succeed.
Right.
At the expense of myself. I don't really care about myself like that. So, and that's why, when I was brewing or with this channel, I throw myself wholeheartly into anything I do. I want it to succeed. And, did I get 4 hours of sleep last night from doing 2 shows? Yes, I did. But it's because people want me there, and I want to be there too. But I just like to be with this group. I like the distance learning and all that stuff. So, it's I self-sabotage myself to maybe even help others succeed, and I'm okay with that.
Right.
So it's just and like I said before, it's my dad's voice in the back of my head saying nothing I do is good enough. There's so many other people that are better than you doing the same exact thing. So while I'm doing the podcast, stuff like that, and I'm working with James and Philippe and stuff like that, and trying to do all these things, it is going places. It's not at a rate I'd want it to go at. I'd love for it to go further, and faster than what it is, but it is light work. Am I going to keep doing it? Yes, I
But
am.
I'm almost wondering is, Aaron was saying that, a lot of times people have to have these extra resources or, maybe support from a family or, to be able to accomplish these dreams. I'm almost wondering now that I think about it, though, isn't that almost the human way, though? I think about people who are electricians. My friend was an electrician and was part of a union. And in the beginning, he used to have to go sit down in this union hall and wait for jobs to come up. So it's not like they called him when a job came up. No, he had to go sacrifice his time, wake up in the morning and go to this union hall and wait for the job board to be put up.
Yes.
I think about, and I know I'm going to destroy his name, Ki Hwan, the actor that just won for Everything Everywhere All at Once for the supporting actor. He was a Goonie when he was a child. He was in Indiana Jones. And at that time, it looked like his career, he had a good trajectory for being an actor. But then he said that at that time, the cute little Asian boy, all the roles dried up for that. And it wasn't until Crazy Rich Asians came out that he realized that there was a market for an Asian actor like himself to be able to come back. And so, I mean, that journey, he went from being, a known actor, the Goonies and Indiana Jones that everybody knew, to working as a set dresser, to working at, working behind the camera for 20 years because he couldn't get a job as an actor. And then, all of a sudden he got his break again. Thank you, Ness.
Hoi Kwan. Yeah.
Thank you. But I mean, it seems like that's almost the way for everything. You've got to sacrifice somewhere or have some advantages somewhere.
Or have some connections.
Yeah, you either have to have the connections or you're going to have to put in the ass work. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, but even then, the ass work, if it was requiring me to do something and I have work it for, and that already pays my bills, like that's the thing. Do I want to eat this week or do I want to go pursue my dreams and the off chance that I might get something like that? I think with electricians and engineers, it's a little bit different because typically your work speaks for yourself. That's fine. Art is such a subjective thing. People could either think that you're brilliant or people could think that you suck. I mean, Kristen Stewart's a great example of that, I think, because people think of her and go, oh, Twilight, those suck. She's terrible. But if you look at the breadth of her work, she's actually a great actress and a lot. She
is a great actress. I mean, you watch Spencer,
and even then, great. Definitely got into the field before she was 18. So had a parent that did it
as a child. Yep.
Took them. I know that my mom, when I was younger, like when I was like 5, she was trying to be one of those moms of like, let me get you into this realm. Let me take you and stuff. And I guess the part that like broke that whole journey for me was that they wanted me to get my teeth capped and my dad wouldn't pay for that. So then I just never did that again. Like I still wanted to be an actor. I still pursued doing that as far as like a thing through high school and college and this and that. And obviously on a community level now, but I've never reached like monetary success from it. I do it because I love it. And we all like hope that we take the thing that we love and turn that into the thing that pays our bills.
Right.
But like the reality of the situation is that we have, as Americans, this big battle on mediocrity. Like it's not okay to just like exist and do the 9-to-5 and have a social life. Like, no, you have to make a name for yourself and have a legacy and like everyone in the fucking world know you. And that expectation right there alone is so astronomically absurd for people to put themselves into. Like that's why we self-sabotage, in the sense of it's best to blame myself for not doing enough than to say it's all of these other people's fault that I didn't get there or that
I would
blame the system.
I would venture to make a guess that that explanation right there is probably 40, maybe even 50% of the reason why more people since coronavirus started are experiencing these mental breakdowns. Like oh, I have a mental disorder. I have anxiety, or I have this, or I have that. Well, of course you're going to feel that way, because look at the bar. Look at the bar. Look at the expectation. This is not, while this isn't new, 20, I'm not going to say 20, maybe 25, 30 years ago, it wasn't like the average person had the stand on the corner opportunity to make it as a star overnight. There was no American Idol. There was no YouTube. There was no
Fuck American Idol.
There was no
Reality
viral
TV.
there was no viral opportunity for Florida man to pull his pants down and become a millionaire overnight because Cash Me Outside, how about that?
Right.
You know what I'm
Star
saying?
Search.
Like there was no stupid person who made $1 million check from YouTube because their video got 4 million views, and now their level of stupid just got them paid, even though they didn't deserve a dime of it.
Right.
And that's the world we live in. So of course that's going to create an absolute crap ton of anxiety, especially if you see yourself on a particular level of morality, because now you're telling yourself, okay, I'm not an ass. I don't make an ass of myself. I don't say obnoxious things on camera and expect to be paid. And people who are dumber than me, who make so many mistakes, who are clearly going to die before the age of 40, are millionaires. But I'm
Right.
going to work and I'm doing everything I need to do for my family, making sure I say my pleases and thank yous, and I hold the door open and I help people up when they fall.
Hey, Mr. Forrest. You know why you don't need to say anything stupid?
Why, Mrs. Forrest?
Because you got me to do that.
Wow.
And here I thought that was my job. Dear God.
Hey, this is why there's 2 queens here. This is why we have got the 2 queens. Come on, hey, solidarity, right, for the queens. There you go.
But no. I think to Anthony's point, yes, there is a level of shame in that quote unquote mediocrity, and that level of shame, truthfully, has no right to exist. It never should have been a thing. There is no shame in working hard for yourself or your family. There isn't. There shouldn't be. And unfortunately, if you're not getting ad revenue from YouTube, you're not going to make it. And that blows. It's not right.
Right.
And if we're
Right.
not making it, well, screw us, right?
Well, I just say we're faking it, but it's fine. Now fake it until you make it. Hey,
You know,
Look.
especially when you're talking about like YouTube, like I'm constantly battling with that in my head. I constantly have the battle between, there are millions of people on YouTube that are just making videos, that are just trying to speak out into the void. Whether they're trying to monetize or not is one thing, but the other part of me is like, well, fuck, dude. If this guy is, getting 400,000 views on a shit video, and we're actually putting in time and effort and quality into our work, shouldn't we be able to make it there as well? So there's always kind of that balance of like, God, I don't think we're ever going to make it, to how the fuck can we not make it when this asshole is making it?
Case in point, I can go back to being fat. I can put 220 pounds back on, and I can make a daily video of eating Big Macs and talking about the stupidest thing ever and get hundreds of thousands of views for people to watch me kill myself.
Oh, God. You're talking about avocado or Nikocado avocado.
Yeah, mukbang videos.
Ugh.
I'm calling it for what it is. He got pissed off.
No,
at me.
I
He
agree.
get
I
pissed
think
off at
I
me.
think there's some serious
don't give a shit.
problems there. No, I agree. It's like watching the train wreck.
I think it's.
I worry about that.
it's
Yeah.
right that right there. People as Americans, unfortunately, love to watch a train wreck. And that is
Stupidity
what
should not be
confuses us.
rewarded.
We should not. Absolutely not. But at the same time, there's about 20 seasons of America's Funniest Home Videos where people get kicked in the crotch. And
I was going to say, what about the whole Jackass crew?
$10,000.
The whole Jackass crews built their whole career off of that.
This is actually why I actually don't like slapstick humor. It's actually a big thing why I just find it dumb and it's banal and it says nothing. This is why I'd rather watch. This is why I'd rather watch, Mel Brooks films if I'm going to watch comedy, because they do have some slapstick, but they are mostly smart and funny for that reason. Yeah. So that's kind of that whole bit there. Anyway,
But yeah,
yeah. I guess yeah.
That's why we I think that's why we self sabotage, because we see so many things that are wrong being rewarded, and we don't have it in us to do that wrong. I don't want to hurt people, and I don't want to hurt myself. I want to love people, and I want people to feel loved and be good to themselves. But shit, that ain't gonna get me any ad revenue.
Right.
But whatever, I'll sacrifice that ad revenue if that makes it so that somebody else can thrive and be better. I'd rather someone take a positive
same
thing
thing
Kyber
here
Cave says.
with my show.
And
I paid for something that I don't make anything out of, but then I hear from a performer's mom like, "Thank you so much for this space. It means so much to us." That kind of emotional reward is almost better, because it's like, well, I'm really glad that I was able to do something that was moving for you. Because I'd rather have it be that than something that's just shallow. Like, oh my God, you have so many followers. Can I get a picture? Versus like, oh my God, you're so pretty and I loved what you just did. Can I get a picture?
I will agree with you to a large extent, Anthony. But as a producer myself, and working with other producers, who have tried to shade me as an artist when I knew they were getting paid, it's not something that I find acceptable. I find it a very slippery slope. And all the time I hear, like, oh my God, why is your book so expensive? Why is your painting so expensive? Motherfucker, I got bills too. I got rent to pay too. And if on every single level, art is a weird thing, right? Like, art is expensive. Art is something that we value, we cherish, we put it in museums, yet we don't want to pay the fucking artist who made the piece of work. And with what you're doing to community theater, that one's a tough one for me. Because I just feel like, God, dude, you were putting so much into it. Why are you not being compensated in any way, shape, or form?
I think for me as a person in that circumstance for this type of company, because I've done it multiple times, it is more of a self-fulfillment thing. I want to have the ability to get to do this role, this character in this show for an audience for those 16 times. I live for that applause, and I live for that moment in time to exist as something I can cherish that's kind of beyond monetary compensation. Back to what you're saying with like paying artists what they're worth. I will say that like I did a bunch of, paintings during December. I did a couple in October, and I had a coworker be like, "Oh, really? $200? Like that seems like a lot." And I was like, "Hi, can you paint?
Right.
Do you know how much time that took me? First of all, my materials aren't free. My time should not be free. And my talent is something that's been done over years.
Over years.
Right. So it is absolutely worth something. And I am very much in the right to set the standard of this is what my time is worth for that thing that someone will actually own. I'm not asking for a subscription. Somebody didn't have to pay me $15 a month to have a painting that I did the one time. They paid me $200 for a commission piece of something they wanted that I said, okay, I can do that. It's not something that I painted just out of my own soul. Said, let's put this on a canvas. And someone's like, I'll give you 200. Like, I have a painting of Angelina Jolie that was actually a class project of mine, taking something that was a 6x9 picture and blowing it up by 3 foot. And that's still to date one of my favorite paintings. And people have been like, I'll give you $3,000 for that. And it's an absolute no. I love that painting because of what it means to me, because it was a big triumph in my time during that process. But like, if someone would like 10 years from now, like, hey, I'll give you like 10 grand for that. Fuck yeah. Okay, take it. Take it. It's good. It's paint. It's easy. I could replicate that again. But like, even still, everything comes at its own price, and an artist gets to set their own price. And if an artist is willing to work for free for the sake of reveling in their art, then yeah, they're going to do it. They're going to do it because they want that experience, not necessarily the paycheck. Quite frankly, I'm kind of glad I'm not getting paid for this one, only because the 1099s the last couple of years with my taxes have sucked totally, royally. I hate that the government is like, okay, so you owe us like a lot of that money that they gave you for this, even though that was a really low amount to begin with. So we're going to ask for about 40% now. Thanks.
Right.
Like, you couldn't have just taxed me out of that 1099. Okay, whatever, Mary. My last paycheck was supposed to be $1,043, and I got $469 of it. So, but yeah, I owe California $600 this year. Fun that.
Well, and Aubrey, just so you don't feel left out here, we just haven't gotten to yet because we all seem to have self-sabotaging self-sabotaging methods here. What about yourself? Is there anything that you do that you feel is self-sabotaging?
Everything.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yeah, I'm just drawn that way. I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way. Yeah. So no, I absolutely self-sabotage all the time, and usually has to do with self-worth. How do I self-sabotage? I procrastinate. I mean, it's partially because I have ADHD, but I procrastinate, and then I beat myself up on it. I mean, it's great. And doing karaoke for me it's a form of self-sabotage. But yet I have to look at it this way. A lot of people go, you give us really high quality performing, like you are a gift. Like people feel your music and your singing and your song, and you put something out there, and people are like, I don't get to experience that anywhere else. And that's a really sweet gift that people have said, and so it helps me feel better. But no, like of course I self-sabotage. I start fights. I like in relationships especially.
Right.
I start fights. I do lots of things. I'm a bitch, and so that's how I self-sabotage. I push people away.
I know in my personal case, and I try not to use this as an excuse. It's just what happens to be, because I get irritated sometimes when other people use this as extended excuses. But I grew up in an environment where I was literally told, I'll never be anything. That my mother wished that I was never born, that her life would be so much better if I was never born. My mother's tried to kill me, literally tried to kill me. So for many years, it wasn't until I was 26 and I found some like self-help tapes and I started listening to them before I really got a sense of self-worth and self-value. And a lot of times, when I'm trying out for things, sometimes I wonder, do I deserve this? You know what I mean? Like maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not supposed to have this thing, even though I've been busting my ass for it for the last 5 years.
Right. I mean, like I only have one album out, and since
you have an album out though, that's an accomplishment most people can't say.
Right. I mean, and I've been part of a few albums, but I still don't feel like I've done enough. I'm like, I should have had 3 or 4 albums out at this point.
Right. But if you had 3 or 4 albums out, would you have been, I should have had 10 albums out?
Probably.
See, I mean, that's very similar with what Aaron was talking about getting off the plane. If he loses another 10 pounds, is he going to get off the plane and say, I should have lost 15?
I lost 65 so far. Why haven't I hit 100 yet?
I mean, is there really an end to it?
No.
I don't think so. So, I think that we've got to find some other way to get around it.
Experience. It's almost like we set ourselves up for
failure. We do. I mean, even with the acting, like, I'm still, I mean, it's like, we set ourselves up for all these things. I don't know why we do it. We just do it. We sabotage.
Why do we go into singing? Why do we go into acting when we know that the percentage of a chance that we will make it as one of those, top?
Because that's what I was meant to do in my life. I was meant to be a performer.
And I think there's also the big saying of if this is a career or if this is a passion. Because even with drag, there's so many people that's like their income. And that's something that sets me definitely apart from them as a drag artist. They book 7, 8, 9-10 shows a week because that's their gig. That's where they make their money. They're traveling. They're doing this one gig, another club, another this, that, and that. Me, I barely have the energy for the one show that I do twice a month kind of thing. And it's because, like, yeah, it's something I love to do, but I have all of these other things going on. Like, it's not
Yeah.
a career. I don't expect that to be the thing that keeps me safe in my house at night. I don't want to scrape by. I don't want to live in my car. And again, most of these people that I'm looking at don't have good relationships, either live at home or live in their car, or have 8 roommates, or, constantly are doing their own paycheck to paycheck thing.
I don't have a backup plan. I don't have another job. This is my job. So I mean, and that was a choice that I made.
Like I bartend, that's what pays my bills. But does it have a 401k? No. Does it have benefits? No. Does it have any pension or retirement? No, it does not. It just gives me readily accessible income on a daily basis in cash that I can then try to throw towards all of my other goals. But even then, it's taxed on such a level that my paycheck is bullshit. What I make hourly doesn't even matter, because what I make monetarily from my guests, that's my income. And again, these are the same people like, you're so talented, you should go off and do something more with your life. And it's like, are you going to pay my rent for 6 months? Because if you are, I mean, then we're in some business. But if not, I'm going to just go ahead and take your $25 tip tonight. Thank you.
Now, here's the funny thing, and I guess we can close on this. On more than one occasion, on more than one show that I've run, especially on nights when Saber Rattle wasn't able to be on, I'd throw on a gaming thing, and I'd bring Van on. And on more than one occasion, Van has said out loud to the world of the internet, I want Kyber Cave to succeed. Yes. I want Kyber Cave to succeed. I want it to not just be alive. I want it to thrive. I want everybody in Kyber Cave to be able to be paid. And I wanted everybody to be able to quit their 8 to 5, their 9 to 5, their nightly gig, whatever's making them lose sleep and bringing them misery. I want them to be able to quit it to do this. Let me just say this. There is enough talent and enough ability and enough skill literally on this screen by itself to come up with a plan or many plans to make that happen. I believe in us as a team. I believe in us individually.
Hey, I'm super excited for the new order. I can't wait for that to come out. I can't wait for us to
Graveyard and I lose hella sleep on the stuff that we do, especially him. He puts in the effort. I've been on vacation, but I mean, there's stuff that needs to get done. And even what we do currently, like, it's not bringing us hundreds of thousands of followers and subs and everything, but it doesn't mean I believe in it any less. I truly think that, with solid plans, between Aubrey's ability to act and sing and do everything she does, and Anthony's drag and all of his talents and all the techie stuff that Mezzo and myself and Graveyard does, and all of the leadership skills and golden laughter that Van has, we can make this work. I believe in us. I think it could work. But again, it's finding that one magic night where the one thing somebody says or does or what we do together is going to generate that.
Let it be me.
Hey, bro. All I can think of is, hey, we are way overdue for another Mario RPG.
The way I look at it is the rising tides. Was it the rising tide makes all ships rise together, right? If any one of us take off, that means all of us are going.
And Mezzo is really making it happen with the shorts, because she's catching those platinum moments in a lot of our streams and she's putting them up there. And I go back to them regularly just to laugh, because they're funny, especially the stuff that she does in Graveyard.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, there's just some really hilarious moments that she's caught.
Every time you ask, Mario, it's Super Mario RPG. There's only one. There's only one Mario RPG out there. There can only be one.
I know for myself, I have dumped a ton of money into Kyber Cave. I've dumped a ton of money into KCP. And I constantly think about, if I wasn't putting this money into this, I could be doing the things like the vacations that I see other families taking.
Okay,
But
fair question.
there's something that forces me to do this because I just feel like, and up till now, everything has proven me wrong, but I still feel like in the future, this is all going to pay off for all of us. That's
But it
why
will,
we
because it
put this in
has.
now.
In some ways, we're so close. Like even in just less than a year, in just 8 months, fan, you went from 2 years of having only what 400 subscribers,
Let 200.
200 subscribers, and in less than a year, we have grown to over 1,000 subscribers, and we only have so many hundreds of hours left till we get monetized. I mean, that is a
Right.
huge accomplishment. Think about that. In the 3 years you've run it, in the last 8 months, you've grown that much. We have grown that much.
Right. Well, it's
So
all
I do
because of you
believe in our
guys.
team. I do believe in this team. I do.
I mean, the real question though, are you able to claim it as a tax write-off? Because I was really hoping to do that with my drag shit, and I can't.
Really? How come you can't?
Because I don't 1099 my performers. So even though I'm
Oh,
paying them, there's nothing with their social security saying that they're getting that money. So I have no.
oh, okay.
I mean, I would think that with this, I hope to God that you're able to take this. It's like, yeah, this is my side business that I'm trying to build, and you're getting at least the tax credit for it.
Right. I honestly
Yeah,
don't know
I
how
have
that
to.
shit
I write
works.
off a bunch of stuff for that.
Yeah, I
reason.
would try do so, especially if you have the receipts van.
Yeah, well, all that just goes to the tax person. I don't know how that shit works. All right, guys, we actually are running a little bit over. This is an interesting topic tonight. Let's go ahead and do what we do the way that we do it, and we will start right here. This is the outro, girl. You know how we do this.
Hi, I'm Aubrey. You know me. I am also known as Captain Lady Moon. Hoo-ha. 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 Good God, what's wrong with me tonight? I don't know. I do music and acting and all the things. We have a show in the works, going to be called The New Order.
Yes.
A book that I wrote. Well, myself and my co-writer, Melody Mitchell. It is a role-playing game, and we will be doing all of that stuff coming soon on this channel. Yay.
Woo-hoo.
We just need to get Phil to get his character done.
I'm excited. I cannot
Works
wait
out,
for that.
and then we can get everything started, and then we can have other people join or whatever. Afterwards, I do a lot of gaming stuff with these lovely people, especially this lovely man right here, and of course, my KCP husband, Mr. Force, and also this lovely Dampy down here, my favorite graveyard. And yeah, and we are all here, and I also have music. You can find the band that I've done music with, BYL.
Buy your lightsaber.
Yeah, buy your lightsaber. And yeah, you can find us on those. And I have my own album out on Spotify and all the places. All you have to do is look for Unexpected Journey by Aubrey McCoy. It's all original stuff by me.
Woo! All right. Mr. Anthony.
Hi, I'm Anthony Allen. I also have the tag name Sidorian, even though no one's ever used it. It's fun. It's a outside of that, you can catch me as Rubik's Q Arcana the second and third Wednesdays of every month in Lodi currently. I also will be premiering in Rent with SCT.
Yes.
Yay!
I'm super proud of us. This has been a really momentous week. Wednesday night, we had our fundraiser, the Pasta for Pride. We sold 70 seats and raised $1,700 or like $1,900 for this year's Lodi Pride. So stoked because that pays for most of my entertainment budget. Outside of that, you can catch me here most Fridays. We'll see how my rehearsal schedule affects that.
Right.
Oh, we'll see. I don't know. I haven't gotten it yet. But outside of that, yeah, I'm still excited for the projects to come, the growth of everything here. I'm looking forward to how this year turns out, and then seeing everybody just blossom and prosper and grow into all the fantastical beings that we should be. Even though no,
Excellent.
sleep.
And Say Wong says a big shout out to the people at WonderCon. He had mentioned Ivan earlier. I can only imagine he means Ivan Roca.
Did anybody know what my background was from, though? By the way, just asking. Curious.
Anyone? I'm not going to know it.
Is it?
Ah, I meant to ask this question earlier.
Say Wong, what is it?
Prizes for those who guess where is this background from? Because it's like
Not from Japan.
Huh?
It's not from Japan. I know that.
Well, the movie's
It's a
from
game.
Japan.
Oh, the movie
wait.
is it Spirited Away? No.
Say Wong
Is it Spirited Away? Okay, it is Spirited Away. That's what I thought as soon as that was the first thing that came to my brain was Spirited Away, but I wasn't sure. I'm like,
okay, see, Aubrey wins. There we go. She's fine.
Woo! Go Aubrey.
Next person.
All right.
Anyway. By the way, I love the background. It's awesome.
Yes, I am Graveyard, co-host of the Mostly Pod Out at Night Mostly podcast. We release podcasts every Wednesday, any place you can get your podcast. We actually are be releasing 2 next week, one on Wednesday and one on April 1st. So stay tuned for the April 1st one. It's going to be a fun one. You can find us on all social media at Pod Out at Night. You can go to our website as well and buy merch to help support us.
I did.
Yes. Thank you for that. On top of that, you can find me 4 days a week now on Kyber Cave Productions.
Wow.
And then Distance Nerding on Thursdays for the build, where we're doing the March Nerdness bracket. You can see me harassing Phil on Mondays when he's streaming his games.
Yes, you should.
Yes. On top of that, I want to make sure to thank everyone, all our cavers, our dwellers, our spelunkers out there that help support our show. We appreciate everything you do. Like, comment, subscribe. The more you share, the more subscribers you get, the more free lightsabers you can potentially win.
Yes.
Yes.
And join our Patreon just for a little $1 a month. You can enter and help us out. It helps bring us more content to you guys. You can enter to get more swag. The higher tiers, you have better swag that you can win and in a raffle.
And we have lightsabers coming up here soon.
Yes. And we're going to be putting out exclusive content on there, exclusive polls to help figure out if you guys want to see, especially Retro Alcove, what you want to do in there, and have distance learning or nerd out topics as well. Anything that you want to see us cover on the new show that starts.
Remind people what's.
Saturday morning
about tomorrow.
Yes, Saturday morning Nerd Out is our next show for this week, and it is 10 a.m. Pacific. So make sure to check that out. We're discussing all things nerdy that we can fit into the hour 15 time frame. And if you want to talk nerdy to us, join our Discord, please. We'd love to hear from you guys. And all of these wonderful people here are on there. Talk nerdy to us. And you want to talk horror with Aubrey, Anthony, and I, join us there too. We love to discuss horror movies.
Oh, by the way, we still have caving to do.
Yeah, I'm finishing the
The face is like, wait, what caving? Oh, no.
I know.
Oh, why do you keep bringing this up? Can you just not talk about it?
Finishing 7th Guest with Mezzo this weekend, so then we'll be back to that.
Nice. We have so many outlets and stuff. I can't even keep track of everything. My man.
I am Fours. I would like to encourage all of you to go to kybercave.com and pick yourself up one of these wonderful, fantastic lightsabers. And then while you're at it, head over to saberfont.com, where you can find the work of the one and only Fours FX Saber Sounds. Also the work of my friends Juan Sith and Harry Solo Fonts. Pick up a sound font from them and install it on one of these sabers. You can find me on Tuesdays and Thursdays as an official host over at Distance Nerding. You can find me on some of the Mondays on the Retro Alcove. You can also please join us on Thursday Night Live, Kyber Cave Gaming Live Thursday nights. We are taking the next couple of weeks and we're doing some chapters from Life is Strange Before the Storm. It is a people on screen and people in the comments interactive game. We've had a lot of interactivity last night, which was a crap ton of fun. You can see me here Fridays on Kyber Cave After Dark, and hopefully on Saturday you'll be seeing me on the new Nerd Out. So come
and learn how to be a koala with us on Thursday.
Yes. And also, if you are in the California area and you are friends with members of the Kyber Cave, please know that within the next 3 weeks, I will be in California for half a month. So if you want the opportunity to meet me, I will be there, and it's going to be just the best freaking time ever. I have this feeling that it's going to be something life-changing, and I'm super freaking excited. Hey, yo, Adrian. I did it.
What can I say? My titties are just ready for you.
Beards
Sorry
are
about
ready. Beards and boobs are ready. Got it.
Yes.
So, all the Kyber Cave things. We love you guys. May the fours be with you. Van?
Can you guys hear me? We
I
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
We can't see you.
That's
can't
so
see
weird.
you.
Okay, I think the camera will come back in a second. My power just went out and my battery died. I was like, oh crap, I had to plug in real quick. So whether you can see me or not, I will be the disembodied ghost. I want to remind everybody that right now on kybercave.com, everything is 20% off. And we are doing that because an additional 20% off of every purchase you make online is going towards a GoFundMe that we are raising right now for Jon, for one of our producers for Hearts of Kyber Beatdown. He is in desperate need of a new wheelchair, and we are trying to make that happen for him. So
what's the code for that?
The code, thank you for asking. All you got to do is put in AbiliTV. That's AbiliTV. I'm going to get Metz or somebody to make a little poster on the page for it so that people will know. But put in that code in the promo. You will get that 20% off. And that also helps us, determine how much money that we're going to give towards Jon for his GoFundMe. The link should be down below in the description, I believe, if you would like to help out with that GoFundMe, or if you would just like to pass that word. That definitely helps a lot. I want to thank all of our Patreon subscribers and everybody that helps us out bring new content. We are doing 7 days a week of content, 8 shows a week. 6 of them are live. Only 2 of them are uploads. So I'm just so proud of everybody in this crew. It's so funny, like going through and listening, Graveyard's like, I'm here 4 days a week, and 4 is like, I'm here 3 days a week. I do 3 days a week as well. I am on Wednesdays. I do a show called Hearts of Kyber about mental and physical disabilities. Friday nights, I'm here on Kyber Cave After Dark, and Sundays we do a show called Saber Rattle about the saber industry and cons and all that fun stuff. This Sunday, actually, we have a Floridian named Ben. He owns a company called the Smuggler's Den, and they are known for their 3D printing. They do all kinds of helmets and weapons and stuff like that. So that's going to be a fun show. Make sure to tune in. We are like 60 people away from our next Saber giveaway. Once we get to 1,001 subscribers, we will be giving away another Saber. And for those that have been around, we just gave away a Profi Dark Saber last time. So that was... Why is everybody laughing?
We'll tell you at the end.
Oh, okay.
I watched Aubrey to see if she caught it. I'm like, yep, that's it.
Yeah, I don't know how to change that damn picture.
He got it! Actually, I was making funny comments in a private chat. Sorry.
Wow. That's so cool. I can see there's no picture of me, but every time I talk, it's like it lights up. I feel like Kit. Hello.
You're like Zordon. You're not Zordon. You are looking for pop stars with attitude. There you go. Those are my funny comments. But now you have Phoenix in there. I don't know what's going on here. Wait, what? She's still haunting us.
I totally
we should end the show now.
This is the show. We should end.
All right, y'all.
Oh, cut the cord.
Ooh. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and hanging out with us on a Friday night. We will be back again next Friday and
tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning. You can check us out every single day of the week. Most days we are live. So if you want to hang out and talk to any of these people, if you want to talk to the captain, Graveyard, Fours, or Celeron. Celeron you can only find on Friday night.
Dorian.
Dorian.
What was it?
Sometimes he's Levitz.
Oh,
You will refer to him as Sir.
And soon he will be
Sir
Roger.
Sidorian.
And soon I will be Roger.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
God, that's-
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Let me get.
That's
make
why
sure I
I'm
have
the
my-
captain.
We ain't
my
got to go
bag ready.
home, but we got to get the hell up out of
Yeah, we
here.
can't
That's
stay
right.
here.
I got to get to a dispensary
I'm
at 9
already
in the
home.
morning.
Good
I got
night,
stuff to do.
everybody.
I got it.
Nah.
Good night.
I
Good night. See
All
you.
right, guys. Just realized Matt's built a commercial, so I'm going to show it, and then we're out of here. Peace. Damn it.